Hello, sweet faces. Welcome to this week's extra practice, which is talking about multiplying fractions and fractions. Let's go ahead and dive in. A couple of reminders when we multiply fractions. The cool thing is we do not need to make common denominators. We just need to make sure that they do in fact have a denominator. So this week when we're multiplying fractions and fractions, for the most part, that part is already done for you. So I have 1/2 times 1/3. I'm going to multiply it across like it is two separate problems. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 3 is 6. The answer to this one is 1/6, and that is in fact in simplest form because the only common factor that they have is 6. Coming over here, do they both have denominators? Yes, they do. Multiply it straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 5 is 20. Again, this is simplest form. The top number is 1, which is only factor is 1. We can't make it any more simplified. 1/6 times 1/8. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 8 is 48. Again, we have a 1 as our numerator, so this is simplified. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 4 is 8. Two more. Let's go a little backwards. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 3 is 18. And finally, 1 times 1 is 1, 5 times 4, or 5 times 8 is 40. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, multiplying our fractions. Any questions? Bring them with you to class. All right, my little nuggets, on to page 2, where there is a little more for you to do. We are again multiplying fractions and fractions where we do not need common denominators, but we need to, in fact, have denominators. These already have them, so let's dive in. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. This can be simplified. 2's factors are 2 times 1. 6 factors are 6 times 1 and 2 times 3, which means that our GCF, or the greatest common factor, is 2. If I come over here and divide both of these by 2, my new fraction, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 1/3 is simplest form. 2/6 is my original answer. Coming over here to 3/4 times 3/5. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 5 is 20. This is simplest form, but don't believe me, we can check. 9 is 1 times 9 and 3 times 3. 20 is 1 times 20, 2 times 10, and 4 times 5. The only factor they have in common is 1. And when I divide both of these numbers by 1, they don't change, which tells me it is simplest form. Coming down to the bottom here, we have 5 times 7 is 35, and 6 times 8 is 48. Where's my fraction bar? This one, simplest form. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. These can both be divided by 2. Simplest form would be 1/4. Last two on this page, 2 times 5 is 10. 5 times 8 is 40. I can divide both of these by 10. When I do that, I get 1/4. But let's be realistic. We may not have divided them by 10 the first time, right? Maybe we looked at these and we said, you know what? I can divide these by 5. And let's see what happens when we do that. 5 divided into 10 is 2. 5 divided into 40 is 8. If you got to 2/8 and you have that in simplest form, I completely understand what you did. When we simplify, we always want to take that one last second and say, wait a minute, is this really simplest form or is this a simpler form? We simplified, but not as low as we can go because these can still be divided by 2, which take us to our simplest of simple forms, 1/4. All right, over here we have 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 3 is 18. If I do my factors, I have 1 times 3. I have 1 times 18. I have 2 times 9 and 3 times 6. We have a common factor, ladies and gents. We can divide both of these by 3. When I do that, my simplest form is 1/6. Any questions? Bring them with you to class. All right, my little love bugs. Our last few pages, I thought they were a little bit fun. I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback on them. but just trying to give us a different idea of ways that we can multiply. So if you found this super sticky, I completely get it. Just curious to see your thinking. So what we're doing on this page is we're trying to figure out what we multiply to make 1/4. So we need to think what two numbers multiply together to get 1 and what two numbers multiply together to get 4. So 1 times 1 is 1 and 2 times 2 is 4, which means that 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. I need two numbers that multiply together to get 9, two numbers that multiply together to get 25. 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 5 is 25. So 3/5 times 3/5 gives me 9/25. Over here, I need two numbers that multiply to make 4, 2, numbers that multiply to make 9, 3, 2/3. Two numbers that multiply to make 9, 3. Two numbers that multiply to make 16, 4, 3/4. To make 49, we need 7 times 7. To make 64, we need 8 times 8. To make 25, we need 5 times 5. And to make 36, we need 6 times 6. Again, these are just missing pieces, giving you a different way to practice your fraction knowledge. All right, loves, on to page 4, which is our standard math word problems. When we're working on word problems, we're looking for two things. What are they asking me to do, and what numbers are they giving me to use? Let's talk about it. There is 5/6 of a cake left over from a party. If Kathy ate 1/2 of the leftover cake, how much of the cake did she eat? So there was 5/6. Kathy ate 1/2. Let's see what she ate. 5 times 1 is 5. 6 times 2 is 12. She ate 5/12 of that cake. Jacob finished a race in 4/5 of an hour. The winner completed it in 2/3 of Jacob's time. How much time did the winner take? So 4/5 times 2/3. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 3 is 15. He took 8/15 to finish that race. In Becky's kitchen, she has 7/8 of a cup of sugar left. Her recipe will use 1/4 of the sugar. How much sugar will she use? So she has 7/8. She's using 1/4. 7 times 1 is 7. 8 times 4 is 32. She will use 7/32, or 7/32. At Tropical Elementary, 3/5 of the students are girls. If 1/3 of the girls are in the choir, how many of the girls joined? So 3/5 of the students are girls, and 1/3 of them decided to join the choir. 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 3 is 15. Two more. During a hurricane, 3/4 of the town evacuated, and 1/3 of them left the state completely. How many of the people left the state? 3/4 times 1/3. 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 3/12 left. If we simplified, this would be 1/4, just for my friends who like to practice the simplifying. When building a barn, my friend John used 1/5 of a box of screws. If the box was 2/3 of the way full, what portion of the screws did he use? We have 1/5 times 2/3. 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 3 is 15. He used 2/15. All right, sweet faces, on to our last page. I hope you enjoyed this. This was a fun puzzle. So what your goal was is to solve your start box. And every time you solve your question, you needed to follow the line. So when I did 6/8 times 1/2, I got 6/16. I left these unsimplified for you. And what I had to do then was fill in the 6/16. And then answer this next question. 1/3 times 4/6. When I multiplied, I got 4/18. And then I did my next one. 4/8 times 3/4. 4 times 3 is 12. 8 times 4 is 32. So we followed this one down. 12/32. 5/6 times 2/3. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 3 is 18. So we're coming down here. 2/3 times 2/8. 2 times 2 is 4. And 3 times 8 is 24. So we had to come down this way and answer this question. 5/6 times 3/5. 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 5 is 30. Over to here. 7/8 times 1/2. 7 times 1 is 8. I'm sorry. 7 times 1 is 7. 8 times 2 is 16. And that gets us to the finish box. So just some different ways to think through our understanding of fractions this week. Looking forward to your feedback on what you thought of this page and the one where we had to find the fractions to make our answer. Any questions, as always, kiddos, bring them to class.